it's your old friend Dominic here, the WiiReferee, and we're going to be continuing our retrospective outlook on the Wii Sports compilation disc. Our first video, bowling, was fantastic, but we're going to be focusing now on tennis. Now, I want to make a preface here and say that these are only tennis-centric games and not table tennis, or what some people call ping pong. We will be doing a separate video about those games later on because, believe it or not, there are quite a few games on the console for just ping pong. So let's go ahead and start off with the classic itself, Wii Tennis on the Wii Sports disc. So, to get a baseline score on all the games for the Wii that utilize tennis as its premise, we have to talk about, the original, the OG, which is, of course, Wii Sports. Now, this is not going to be a continuation of last episode where Wii Sports Resort just ends up taking the crown, because believe it or not, if you look at the Wii Sports Resort, there's actually no true tennis game. They have table tennis. So that'll be probably, like we say, in another video. But when it comes to tennis on Wii Sports, I am really classically blown away. It's one of those games I keep going back to. It is so easy to play. The Wii gets a lot of bad rep with its controls, and especially when it comes to the waggle. But I found that the controls for this particular game were really tight. The hit detection was fantastic, and the only complaint I can really make is that you have absolutely no control over where your avatar moves in the court. Everything is just automated, and so your Mii will move around the screen, and you'll just have to time your swings accordingly, which of course, lucky for you, are well mapped. But for some people, that kind of takes away the experience of playing tennis. There's no, moving around the court. And I have to admit, the serve options and your stroke options are kind of limited. All right, so there is that to be said. You also have, of course, the Mii design program, which of course isn't the most robust avatar design platform there is out there. We'll be talking about that aspect a lot today. Now, when it comes to gameplay, you're limited to only best of 1, best of 3, or best of 5, and you can play singles or doubles. But the interesting thing here is that your virtual opponent, if you choose to play against the CPU, will just increase in difficulty over time as you prove that you have a certain level of skill. From the unmitigated masters of sports titles comes EA Sports Grand Slam Tennis. Now, this game came out in 2009 and it features all the mainstay athletes that were popular in the sport at the time. They're a bit cartoony, but with the Wii, you kind of expect that. The unique thing about this game is that you have your own avatar design program where you can make your own cartoony type character, give them your name, and compete in the Grand Slam tournament, trying to win these various tournaments to become the Grand Slam master. Now, of course, you can jump into tournaments, you can play simple online play, which I don't think is actually supported anymore. You might have to check on that one. I didn't give it a try because I just assumed that service is no longer available, like most of the online functionality for the Wii. You also have a variety of multiplayer games which you wouldn't have found on Wii Sports. And some of these multiplayer games actually give variations to the game of tennis and are pretty fun. This game has a steep learning curve as far as controls go. You have the ability to move yourself on the court and even aim your shots with a variety of high shots, low shots, mid shots. And so I think it's far more a game for someone who's looking for a more realistic tennis experience and maybe has gotten kind of tired of the simplistic controls of Wii Sports. Overall, I give this game an advantage. So our next game on this countdown is Sega Superstars Tennis. Now, I always thought it was kind of crazy that Sonic and Mario had such a rivalry in the 90s, but then Sonic ended up losing that, that fight, and now he kind of works at Nintendo, and they even go to the Olympics together. But unlike Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, Sega Superstars Tennis is just Sega characters from their backlog of games that they brought out, back in the 90s. And at least for me, a lot of these characters are far less recognizable. Okay, you got your characters from Super Monkey Ball, Samba de Amigo, which is actually one of my favorite games, but you know, it's kind of a weird to see him playing tennis. You have your Sonic characters, you know, Eggman, Tails, Sonic, and then you have Jet Set Radio characters. I understand there's also characters from House of the Dead, and you do see a tennis court that's played at the Kurian Mansion. I find for people who are really into Sega, you know, you might really enjoy this game because of the familiar characters, the familiar locations. I did find it interesting that you had with controls an option to play either with the classic waggle, where you could hold the remote like a racket. You also could play it more, you know, handheld, where you would move it in your hands like that, or you can kind of do a combination of racket and nunchuck, where you can move your character on the court accordingly. This is another one of those games that requires a bit of practice. It's not so intuitive like Wii Sports. You kind of have to play for a while before you get any good at it. And speaking of play it for a while before you get any good at it, there are only 8 of the 16 characters are actually unlocked when the game starts. You have to unlock the rest as far as courts and characters. And you know what? Me personally, I hate that stuff. I feel like, you know, if I bought the game, I kind of want to enjoy all aspects of it immediately. I don't really want to keep playing and playing and playing in order to get all the value that I possibly could out of the game itself. Now, this does have some mini games, but they're not really that fun. So overall, I have to kind of give this game a deuces rating, meaning that it's more or less tied with Wii Sports. Not great, not good, somewhere in the middle. Next up, we have the Virtua Tennis series, which was 2009 and Virtua Tennis 4. Kind of a weird naming convention, like to go year then to numbers. I mean, with Just Dance, they went from numbers to years. I don't know what the hell is going on there. But it's Sega, what do you expect, right? So apparently this is supposedly supposed to be the #1 tennis series for video games, and it finally came to the Wii back in 2009. But I think it being a port, it suffered from a lot of problems that the Wii had with ports, and specifically graphics. Graphically speaking, it's pretty low quality. I would say almost like a PlayStation 1 game. There are some interesting mini games, like there's one where you actually play like billiards with a tennis racket. That's pretty cool, but not that great. And with Virtua Tennis 4, the major components of this game that would make it cool or unique would be its online ranking system, which of course with the Wii being as old as it is, there is no online ranking system. So I think these games are actually the first ones on my list that are more or less a fault. Don't buy. So the next game in our series is the 2K series Top Spin 3 and Top Spin 4. Now, again, in the weird naming convention, like 2K Sports usually have a 2K8, 2K9, but they went with 2K Top Spin 3, Top Spin 4. Kind of a weird naming convention. These are actually really fun games. Graphically speaking, they're really great for the console. I mean, the characters, the avatars, they more or less look like Sims 3 characters in a good way. And what really stands out in my mind is how realistic the actual courts are. There's like 40 various courts from around the world. Again, it had online play, but you're not gonna really be able to enjoy that without some help from some sort of online server that's still operating, which I don't think there are for these particular games. But yeah, I would say that these are fair advantages over the original Wii Sports. I really saved the best for last, and anyone who knows about the Wii's library has probably been waiting for this one. It is, of course, Mario Power Tennis. Now, this was originally a GameCube game that was ported over to the Wii fairly early on in its life, and it maps these new awesome motion controls, really what we were waiting for a tennis game. Now, what really sets this game apart and makes it, in my opinion, better than Wii Sports Tennis is the lovable, cute characters. There are 14 classic Mario characters, ranging everything from Mario himself to Shy Guy, and pretty much everything in between, including King Boo, DK, and Diddy Kong. You have 8 different playing environments, everything from Delfino Square to Peach Garden, and you have a lovely collection of mini games and tournament play that you can go, and of course the game supports 1 to 4 players. The interesting thing here is that you can play it in the classic Wii Sports Tennis mode, where your avatar will move automatically across the screen and it's all about timing, or you can go ahead and strap a nunchuck on and have more control there. So it really has a skill set for anybody, you know, coming directly from the Wii Sports or just looking for something a little bit more immersive, a little bit more interactive. But the real thing that sets this apart and makes it a knockout ace, in my opinion, is of course the ability to fill your power gauge and unleash a devastating power attack upon your opponent. And these animations for the power attacks are fantastic. So if you're looking for a realistic outlook on tennis, this might not be the best game for you because it's very cartoony, especially with the power-ups. But if you're looking for something that's just fun and really is more fun than it deserves to be, this is the game for you. So to recap on my rankings, I put Mario Power Tennis at number 1 because it's just so cute and easy to play. And of course, EA Sports Grand Slam Tennis and 2K Sports Top Spin 4 kind of share a position of 2 and 3 respectively, because they're great games in their own right and really are honest to God inheritors of the throne from Wii Sports Tennis, which is a good game, just a little too simple overall. So they gave something else to the game genre, in my opinion anyway. This list was complete as far as I'm aware for the console. If you know of any other tennis games for the console that I didn't mention, please leave them in the comment section down below, and also let me know what you thought about my rankings. If you haven't already, pound that big red subscribe button, punch that like button, and ding ding that notification bell, because the next video we have up on the channel, boxing. My name's Dominic, the WiiReferee, wishing you always to have a good time.